Good morning, everyone. Got for you today on the old JLQ Knives channel, the North Arm Skaha. Gonna look at the full review of this awesome little blade. But first, a little cup of Joe. I love coffee. So I do like how Nick Shabazz does a few things, doing a size comparison. I do not have the most epic knife collection starting, but I do have quite a gem here. So let's do that really quick. Got the Skaha. We got a Quiet Carry West. It's a nice small gentleman's slip joint here. Love this little guy. Put that right there. Also have another Quiet Carry Strand. A little more closer there, but definitely Skaha beats her out. This though, this S35 VN, really awesome knife. Still made in British Columbia. I did notice too when you're folding it, you got a little date stamp now too. So this was made just in January 2018. So I got this guy for my birthday. Ordered this thing in November, and my birthday is February 1st. I got it like the day after, February 2nd, Groundhog's Day. So awesome. I actually watched them build this on their Instagram channel, and they were like, you know, they had a bunch of blue, orange. I'm like, oh my gosh, I think that's one of mine. I mean, you shoot the comments to them, they answer back. These guys are awesome, father and son, Mike and John, and really big fan. I've become a big fan of their channel. Definitely a lot more Instagram than YouTube, but they have both been doing well. So let's get these off to the side and chat about what we think about the North Arm Skaha. Like I say, this is one of my very first flipper knives with even no spring assist. I had, you know, a Kin Onion leak and all that fun stuff, so I'm used to more of assistance, and this thing is epic. Fall shutty. I've been using this thing for a little over 2 weeks, and just been really loving the action of it and just the fit. No blade play, really awesome lockup. You got like right there, you're not talking anything, and no blade shake. So I want to kind of talk about, I mean, really what drove me to this knife was the Nick Shabazz review, and kind of wanted to see, he had one of the earlier versions, one of the very first, and this is, you know, one of their very latest. I mean, this thing just got produced a little over a month ago. So this is the latest and greatest from North Arm Knives, and where have they come? You know, that's kind of what I wanted to see from his review to now the most current that you can get as of February 2018. Exact date is February 19th. So here we are, the North Arm Skaha, still made out of the same S35 VN steel, which is epic, made in British Columbia. I didn't see where he had the date on his, so that might be new. I'm not necessarily sure on that. I didn't see it in his review. Still the great chamfering here, all G10. Clip goes through the G10 and secures your lock bar. A couple nice back spacers, lanyard hole. So one of his kind of gripes, going down his bad list. I mean, his good list is still all pertains. Really high-end action for this price point. Still the same price. Drop shut. Just a little flick of the wrist. This has not been cleaned. This is still brand new from the factory. I'm going to do a quick tear down here actually after this review, and or maybe even during it, and show. Maybe we can even get that to improve, which would be, I don't even know. I mean, that thing is just insane. So cost still is the same. I got this to my door, $170, and just great overall lockup, excellent action. Overall build is, I mean, just really high quality. These guys are doing it right. They have just awesome CNC markings, great polish on everything. The G10 is really well contoured and just really comfortable to hang on to in the hand. I got relatively big hands, so this thing definitely has a great overall feel in that regard. So the good is still all good in my opinion. Let's kind of go over some of that. Let's go over some of that bad list from his. So because the G10, saying they're probably not good for high use. I could probably still see that. I mean, you have your stop pin there. That's in G10 encased. I did wonder about that. Just all of the times it hits back. Is it gonna wear? Anything like that? I mean, I don't see anything right now, but over time that'd be something for long range testing. So that could probably be still a thing. Light switch only flipper, definitely is a light switch flipper. You can press down on that. It's not as bad as I expected it to be. You're just doing a straight push. Definitely deploys like a son of a gun, but definitely a little ouch on the finger there. But that brings us right into that pocket pecker. His biggest thing, this was squared off. They have definitely done a lot more work on your flipper tab, way more contoured and chamfered and polished. I mean, the thing is quite comfortable. You got some really good jibbing there for some traction. Truth be told, I don't think it wouldn't even need to be there, but it lends to the aesthetic, with your jibbing here for your thumb, which I do appreciate. It has a really good grip there. You're not slipping off. This is actually pretty sharp and squared off right there. So you're definitely, if you're getting into it, you're not going to slip off or anything like that. Really squared off along the entire spine of that blade. But the pecker flipper tab, pocket pecker, has been definitely alleviated. Thing is really well polished with the same level of detail for your lock up there, your liner lock. So well done there. I think that's definitely been alleviated. Still, yeah, one way to carry it, righties. Tip up, right hand carry. That's just how the design is. I mean, I don't know how they would alleviate that with how they have their liner secured, and that really all ties in to how the knife has such great action. So I think that's going to kind of have to be a thing, unless they figure out another way to do that. But not a big deal for myself, but for ambi and ambidextrous lefties, they might still look at that for being a possible issue. Another one that I'm glad that they looked at was the branding on the blade. They definitely toned it down a bit. I think it's pretty much near perfection. It's a really light engraving. I mean, it's almost the same regard as the CNC marks, the blade marks on the blade itself. So not too crazy deep. Has a good, I think they maybe made it a slightly smaller, less intrusive, and I just say thank you. I think it looks great. I think it's still very sharp looking. I'm glad they brand. I mean, this is their knife. They should brand it the way they want to. But I think it was nice of them to take that, those, I don't know, critiques and go forward with that. So well done there. Some bigger bads. I haven't done this yet, but the prying disassemble, I'm gonna definitely dig into that. And I can see what he's saying. I mean, I've disassembled those quiet carries, and the strand is just nice how you take a couple screws out and it just falls apart. So that'll be interesting to dive into that a little further. You'll see me doing that. Hot spot on the clip, definitely. I do feel it in the hand a little bit. I think it's going to be your personal preference. It definitely isn't like hugely noticeable, but I can definitely feel it just ever so slightly, but not a game breaker there. My hot spot is this jibbing actually on my finger. I feel that a lot more than the clip. So if I'm doing some cutting, I can definitely feel that right on my index finger there. I really want to do this, but there's not enough. There's no really finger trowel. So if you're trying to forward it on, grip forward on that, it's going to be definitely a little more tender on that than the clip for myself. He had what he called a tactical maraca. So I think they did some work on their detent lockup. So I'll try to be quiet here and try to mimic what Nick Shabazz is doing. When he rattled his, you can actually hear it rattling in the detent. This thing does not do that. There's absolutely zero maraca action on my North Arm Skaha. So I think they have fixed all those issues. Probably very minor things, but I'm sorry, that action still is just incredible. Just falls shut. So that's gone. There's nothing there. And so his only ugly point was this, the flipper tab, and I think they've alleviated that as well. It's comfortable. Jibbing is nice for deploying it, but in use, you can definitely feel that on your finger there a bit. So I'm like, do you really need that? I don't know. I mean, you could probably still trim it down a little bit. Thing deploys like nobody's business and just shuts like incredible. So this has been over 2 weeks. A lot of use. Use it every single day at work. Do a lot of unpackaging new products. I'm a design engineer, and when we get new things in, have to crack open a lot of boxes, a lot of packaging, banding, and tapes and foams, and there might even be an occasional staple here and there. So I try to be careful, definitely. But so far, this thing has been a beast in the blade department. So 2 weeks of heavy use, and I just wanted to kind of maybe show you how it held up. I've done zero sharpening on this. So here's just some newspaper print, and I haven't done this, so let's see what happens. Wow, that is I call that sharp, guys. Ooh, it's on me. It glides, just glides through it. Yeah, super steel for sure. Oh, that was one thing. You see that just then? It's not anything, but it can. I do that too, but she kind of can bounce out. But then if I do try to do the whole fun flick thing, if I do a little bit too much wrist motion, it actually goes back and clicks back onto the. See that? So that's nothing. That's just me being silly. So, let's just talk about conclusions of the North Arm Skaha. This thing is going to be a permanent staple in my collection. I don't think I ever want to get rid of it. It is nuts awesome, and I love it. So just want to tell you, if you do get a chance to pick one up, I say go for it. This thing is awesome. These guys, you can tell they spend a lot of time and energy trying to make you guys the best knife that they can make right now, and I think they have done an insane job for $170 shipped to your door. I mean, you don't get that. I mean, it's awesome. So I'd say go for it. Really appreciate you sticking around, and yeah, I just want to say thanks to North Arms as well for just doing a bang up job. This has definitely made me appreciate knives and knife making, and yeah, I love it. There it is. North Arm Skaha. Cheers.